Dragon Data, the South Wales home computer firm, are in serious trouble. As we disclosed in Wales at 6 last night, the Kenfig Hill firm have called in the receivers following serious financial problems. Paul Starling looks at what went wrong at one of Wales's boom companies.
Dragon Data were hailed as the fastest growing company in Wales just 2 years ago, and they were seen as the high-tech success symbols of Wales. They were one of the first to attack the boom in home computers, launching their Dragon 32 computer in August 1982. It was created and made at Swansea by toy manufacturers Metoy, who've since gone bust themselves. Sales over that first Christmas were staggering. Thousands of computers rolled off the Swansea production line and across shop counters all over Britain. On the strength of that, Dragon Data was created as a company separate from Metoy and moved into this factory at Kenfig Hill. They received major financial backing, including £500,000 from the Welsh Development Agency. The boom continued into 1983. Sales rocketed and 80,000 computers found new homes. Dragon placed mass orders for components and planned for soaring production. That was their first mistake, and it proved extremely costly. While they planned for boom, a vicious cost-cutting war broke out. There was a seasonal summer slump, and by August, Dragon Data needed £4.5 million to stay in business. The present managing director, Brian Moore, was brought in from GEC. That money was put up by the WDA and Prudential Assurance, and 140 workers went in a slim-down. All hopes were pinned on high Christmas sales this year, but that failed to happen.
Unfortunately, these sales weren't as high as we thought they would be, and there was a carryover effect into the first quarter of this year, and basically we just haven't sold as many computers since Christmas as we thought we would.
You were telling me earlier that in fact the bottom has almost dropped out of the Dragon market.
Well, Dragons are still selling in the UK. We have information that says we're selling still a few hundred a week. But a company the size of Dragon needs to sell significantly more than that to stay in business. So it's a matter of degree rather than dropping out of the market. And there's no doubt that the home computer market is a very risky business, and the market conditions are very uncertain. And certainly in the last week there's been fairly pessimistic reports about the US market and the whole future of home computers.
Are there any general lessons you feel that can be learned from this problem that you faced, taking into consideration that you were the fastest growing company in Wales at one stage?
Are there any general... well, I think the most important thing we've learned is to make sure that your forecasting is right. And one of the problems with high-tech industries is that there's usually a lot of material content and relatively small labour content, which means if you don't forecast your sales correctly, you have a lot of bought-in components, which essentially means that if you're unable to sell them, you have big debtors behind you, and debtors mean that you run out of money in the bank.
Now, we're sitting in an area of high unemployment. You know that as well as anyone else. What is likely to happen to the 160 jobs still left in this factory?
Well, we're doing our very best to attract a buyer to carry on in business. Certainly the receiver and myself have discussed it, and we are now putting together a proposal for someone who will be attracted to the business. We still have 3 or 4 new products just about to go to the market, and I'm very confident we'll have something in place in this location working. I think it would be too early to say what and the size of it, but there is still some hope that we'll get something.
Will you continue to fight to save Dragon Data?
Absolutely, yes. We've spoken to GEC, who are our UK distribution company. They've indicated their willingness to carry on with the brand. They will be having discussions both with the receiver and ourselves over the next week, and we are fairly confident that something will come out of it, but it's a bit early to say exactly what yet.
I mean, I'll ask what is effectively a naughty question. Are GEC likely to take it over lock, stock and barrel?
Well, that is a naughty question. I think you ought to ask GEC that. But,